Hello everyone, and today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to just draw, and I'm going to explain how to draw when you don't know what to draw. So, to begin with, I always like to do, if I completely shot out of ideas, to do a doodle, because doodles are just freeform thinking, and you just draw lines and lines and lines, and you turn them into something that can be tangible or intangible, but it still looks cool. So, the best way to start a doodle, if you still don't know what to do or don't know what to doodle, just draw a random shape. And then, like the clouds in the sky, you just want to transform them into something else. So, just start drawing lines. Lots of lines. Lots and lots of lines. You can make them straight, some of them. You can do whatever you want. Use techniques that you're comfortable with. I like hatching because I started on liners and all that sort of stuff. But have fun with it, but that's kind of hard if you're overthinking it. So just start by drawing whatever you like. Just draw some lines first. And then maybe from one of those lines, what I like to do is veer it off and then transform it into something. I always have an obsession with eyes, so I end up drawing eyes. Very weird things that just look at you while you're trying to draw. But I won't just be covering doodling. I'll also give you some other ideas on what to do when you want to start drawing, and that might be incorporated into the doodle. So sometimes the best first thing to do is do some perspective work. So maybe start with a point and then just draw a square from it. And then you add some lines. And then maybe you want to make it a box. Or if you're really cool, you make it multiple boxes that recede into the background. Something like that. Once you've done a couple of those will kickstart your brain. It's always good to have a sort of starting point, something you do every day. You need to be disciplined for maybe about a month. So if my starting point for the longest time was doing perspective work and just drawing boxes and boxes and boxes, but I've moved on from that a little bit, but it's never a bad idea to go back to it. It's always fun. It helps you practice your line confidence, everything like that. And then from there, your brain might get kickstarted and you'll start drawing. Because the hardest thing to do is actually get started. Once you get started, once you get the nerves out of the way, once you do this kind of warm-up sort of stuff, you start to ease into things. Maybe we could also, so after doing perspective work, the next thing I would normally do would be to do a figure drawing. So I would pick out a figure. I would just go online and go to a pose gallery. I've got a pose gallery going if you want to check that out too. But if you want some free poses, I leave those up there for you guys. But yeah, start with a pose, or if you feel confident enough, just take one of these random lines that you made and make a pose out of it. Just very simple. Excuse me. Allergy season is coming for me, so yeah, draw a figure, put them in a weird pose, have fun with it. I think that's the best way to start, really, as long as you're having fun, because that is why we do art sometimes, right? Just because it's pleasurable, it gives us something we can take our minds off it, or we put our minds to it. It's a task, but we have fun with it. So we can draw some figures, maybe a weird one, maybe something like this, and you're wondering, how does that work? And then you just draw the head, the neck, and they're doing a little cheer here. Woo! Woo! Draw the body. Maybe overlapping legs. Weird overlapping legs. Sort of thing. So after I would start with perspective, I would do figures, and then after that I would do something more fun, like a study of a particular drawing. So I'd pull up a drawing, I would try and copy as best I can. Don't be romantic about it, because everything is quite like any cartoon or whatever is quite art like it's a form of art. Actually, copying cartoons is a great way to learn how to simplify things. I used to draw. I should probably do that again one time. I used to draw Looney Tunes, like scenes from Looney Tunes cartoons. They're very simple. The colors are there, and it's a great way to color study as well. On successful cartoons, because they actually understand color and composition and everything really, really well, and how to simplify a figure but still make it unique. So never think that one avenue is bad. A lot of people say don't draw anime. The caveat to that is, don't draw anime first. The caveat to that is that you can start with it, just don't rely on it too much. You always better to expand into reality or realism, and then you can work your way back from there. That's actually how a lot of the best manga artists, anime artists, cartoonists all do it. They start from reality and they bring it back in. So let's just continue with this doodle. Sometimes it's fun just to do like mandala sort of stuff, like repeating patterns. It purely depends on what you like to do. I'm not very like measured. I'm cut first and then regret not measuring twice sort of person. So I like to just throw stuff onto the page and see what sticks, and then after that I can figure out what I want to do next. So what evolves from that is a sort of style, a sort of way of doing things where I learn to draw very quickly but more accurately every time, instead of measuring things out over and over again. Because you might be that kind of person. If you're an impatient person like me, it's actually better just to go through multiple versions of something over and over and over again, so you get better and better and better, so you don't have to worry about messing up one, you can just do it again. And as you can see, we sort of kind of got a composition going here. We've got some go-go dancers. We've got, like the stage overhead. Maybe you could just add a few spotlights. And then, yeah, so this kind of morning doodle, starting doodle, just throw whatever you feel like into it. It can look messy, it can look clean, it can do whatever you want it to do, but have fun with it. Maybe we can add some context to it now, so maybe some shadows, and then maybe some shadows under here. And this is the best time to experiment. It's the time where you don't have any commitment to this drawing, so you might as well do whatever you felt like doing on that one drawing one time. But yeah, or you can use it to practice shading, practice values, practice your line work, practice your quicks drawing, practice anything. This is your time to explore, to have fun, to enjoy what you're doing. And then once you go from here, you'll feel a little less nervous about starting your first piece of the day or getting into drawing, and then you keep drawing and drawing and drawing. The idea is you don't really want to stop, or you can take a break in between, but you want to get yourself into the habit of going back into it nice and, yeah. It's about habit building. And if you're worried that, sometimes I want to do art and then I get to it and I don't want to do it anymore, you just need to discipline yourself for like maybe 30 days and then it'll roll itself over. So like when I started, I would play video games more than I would be doing my art. After disciplining myself over a few months, or a month even, I started to realize that when I played video games, I'd rather be doing art, and then that's how it evolves. And you can always like intersect things that you enjoy in between. So again, going back to video games, sometimes just booting up the video game and then while it's loading, doing quick drawing, I would actually start to draw more. And then every time I died in the game or whatever, or there's a loading screen, I would draw. And then you kind of just reward yourself by playing, and then the fun parts becomes the actual drawing, and then the reward then becomes a video game and not the other way around. So I hope this was helpful. It was more talking than drawing, but I hope you had fun. Have fun with your doodles, have fun with everything that you do, and when you're having fun, things will come out a little bit easier. So if you don't know what to draw, start with a doodle. You can follow my pathway, do perspective, do figures, and then draw something random. It's entirely up to you. You are the master of your own world, and I hope to see you guys next time. Thank you guys for watching, and leave a comment if you'd like.